This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Buzz, and I'm very pleased to be speaking with Jonathan Pryce about Slow Horses. How are you today?
I'm very good. Thank you. Yep.
I was very impressed to see last year that you were in three of the Emmy nominees for Best Drama Series. So you clearly have great taste in the shows that you choose, and it's nice to see an enhanced role for you on this show this season.
Yeah. Well, it's I was thinking of what to talk to you about, and I mean that this seems like the final, not the final. It's yeah, all right, final. The last quarter of my career. I've been doing it for 53 years now, and it seems that since Game of Thrones, I think I've been fortunate enough to be in three or four, as you say, really good series. The Crown, Three Body Problem, and now Slow Horses, which I absolutely love being a part of.
Wonderful. And this role, obviously, on Slow Horses started out as a little bit less substantial, and by the first episode of season four, David is really just as much a part of it as everyone. Did you know early on that there would be a more enhanced focus on David later on?
I knew the character would develop, yes, because he develops in the books. What's good about it, even though he didn't appear very much in the early series, is that he was a very important presence. And he was a character that obviously River consulted him and talked with him, had a great relationship with him. But he was the one who, he started it all. He started all the trouble. And people out to kill him. Fortunately, I managed to kill them before they killed me a couple of times. But the development of the character, as we saw by the last series, into early onset dementia, was very important to me. It was very important that and that the writer did, and the whole production team respected the fact that this character had dementia. And it's of course it's part of the plot line is that he knows all the secrets. He knows where the bodies are buried, and they will. You could be worried about how far he would go into dementia, and just be giving all the secrets away. But fortunately, that didn't happen. Well, it hasn't happened yet. Let's wait and see.
Well, how do you balance the fact that he's someone who's clearly suffering from something, but he also has done a lot of things that aren't really great throughout his career?
Well, it's like a selective memory. It's like me and my career. I choose to forget certain jobs I've done, but no, it's always going to be there. And of course, the important thing is that everyone else knows it's there. And I don't think he has. He doesn't have too many regrets. He was a professional. He was a spy, part of MI5. He was first desk for a while, so he knew what he was doing, and you see it how he can advise River early on about how to go about his work. But as I said, the dementia is very important to me. Is that it's not I did a stage play, The Height of the Storm, where I played a character with dementia. And it was after that I started working with Alzheimer's Society in London and became an ambassador for Alzheimer's. So I do sort of, I talk on their behalf, and I do voiceovers, and I go to meetings. And so it's very important to me that this disease is represented as accurately as possible. Because, like I said earlier, it can be abused, but it's very sensitively dealt with here. And you see the pain that it causes, and especially to River. And but hopefully there's something good at the end of it.
It's also interesting because I feel like this season is so much about David and River, but they actually have very little shared screen time because they're both on their separate paths. What has it been like working with Jack over the course of the series?
I absolutely loved it. He's adorable, and he gives good grandson, and there's no acting required between us. I've found the older I get, the more and more I enjoy working with younger actors and younger directors. Partly because they haven't heard all my stories, so they're all fresh and new to them. But no, it's been great, and he's the role it developed, and it developed in a way that, I mean, Will Smith is the showrunner writer has talked about it, that he wrote more for David, especially when he saw how the dementia, the effect it had on River and David and on their relationship. So he upped that and wrote some new scenes, which I was very grateful for. Yeah, but working with Jack is great. I mean, we're very serious when we're doing it, but as soon as they say cut, we laugh a lot. So it's good. It's great. But I enjoy the whole cast is it's absolutely brilliant. I watch it, especially the first couple of series. I watched it as an outsider, and I still feel like I'm an audience member when I watch it, because I'm not there for half of what's being filmed, and it's just extraordinary. The balance they have between the dark side and the violence and the humor and the humanity that's shown. And this character that Gary plays is just fantastic. Not just the sort of the gross elements of his character, but the way you really know that there's a real person that deep down there inside who cares for the people who work for him, and balanced by the humor. And of course, the last series, I got to meet all the people I only ever saw on screen. I got to go to Slough House and was expecting to be driven to Clerkenwell, where the exteriors are done, only to discover that the interior of Slough House is actually a set. And I'm still fairly naive after all this time filmmaking. It just looks so real. It's great.
So you obviously are more familiar with the books. Is there more to David's story, or do you think this is likely the last we've seen of him?
I can't say, because that would be a massive spoiler alert. But there is more to come. Yeah, I'll say that much.
Without spoiling anything, what are you looking forward to exploring about this character that you haven't done yet?
No, that would be a spoiler. So I won't go there. Maybe I'm looking forward to taking part in the entertainment in the care home, singing my my American songbook repertoire. I'll have to talk to Will Smith about that. He doesn't know about it yet, but that's the way I want it to go. Yeah.
Well, talking about those three drama series nominees, I feel like they're such different shows. Three Body Problem is such a genre-specific series in a way, and then The Crown, this historical drama, and Slow Horses, it's its own thing. Do you feel like you bring something very different to each of these roles, or a set is a set and it's a part is a part?
Well, the roles are incredibly different. Prince Philip and David Cartwright couldn't be further apart, and especially the character in Three Body Problem, who lived in a world that he created. I could do anything with that character, but no, it was just great to be asked, and there were three jobs that I was asked to do. I didn't seek them out. I never really thought I would do The Crown. Over the series, I saw the roles disappearing that I could play, and of course, inevitably, the only role I could play was Prince Philip, and that was in many ways quite a challenge. I absorb things about a character, and they become I don't like to talk too much about what I do, even when I'm doing it. And and I like to have my secrets about, like people in life do. You don't really know what I'm like, so I try to preserve that kind of thing with a character, that there's always something going on in their head that maybe isn't anything to do with what they're doing at the moment. Yeah.
Well, as soon as we were in talks for this interview, I happened to watch Wolf Hall, The Mirror and the Light, and I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
there's Jonathan Pryce again. This is great. And of
Yeah.
course, that's a role that you played almost a decade ago now. And then again, what is it like to revisit a character like that with such a gap of time?
Uh, Very, very odd, because this time round I'm dead. So I was, Wolsey existed in the mind of Cromwell, and so you exist in Mark Rylance's mind, and it's a time that's it's an okay place to be, but it was saying things that Mark expected me to say. So everything was at one remove. But having said that, it was again a wonderful project. Great books, great writer, and a wonderful director in Peter Kosminski, who, yeah, I really enjoy. I'm very proud of that series. I'm glad I was part of it.
On the note of another religious figure, with the recent passing of Pope Francis, how are you reflecting back on the two popes?
Oh, it was it's extraordinary. I was very moved, and Kate and I, my wife, we watched the funeral in its entirety, and was completely. I watched the last funeral of the Pope, and this could not have been more different. And it especially with the eulogy, it reflected so closely Pope Francis, because the eulogy was given by his friend and someone who obviously loved and admired him. I was touched emotionally because I'm not a Catholic, I'm not religious, but I remember when we had our first meeting for that film with Tony Hopkins and the producers and Fernando, the director, and they asked us both, were we religious? And I said no, but I fully expect to be by the end of this film. But you do, like I was talking about absorbing things, you do absorb things and you learn from it. And it reinforces your belief in the goodness of mankind, and that it's good and right that you want to continue caring for people, and you want to work on behalf of refugees and migrants and people who are suffering at the moment
And it's been many, many years since Brazil, which I think was a very formative role for you. How do you think that film, sort of set your career on course?
Oh, it certainly, I don't know, I think it was kind of on course anyway for various things, but it's kept me on course, because the more and more directors I get to work with, and directors of a certain age, the Brazil and Terry Gilliam was and continues to be a huge inspiration for them, and that's always very gratifying when I get to work with them. And the great thing about the film, of course, is it doesn't, because it's made, the design and everything is so timeless. It stays relevant. Today, it's more relevant than ever, and it continues to find a young audience. It's just wonderful, and the amount of people who come up to me, men especially, who say it changed their lives seeing that film. I don't know, it was very inspirational at the time. Of course, I'm very disappointed with Terry at the moment. You're talking about all these religious characters I played, that I've played bishops and priests and cardinals and popes, and I thought the next role obviously was going to be God. How could it be anything else? And Terry has not cast me as God in his latest film, and I'm very upset. I think it was my last chance. So there you go. I put out a feeler now for, I'm up for it. Anybody, God, I'm your man.
Well, when you're not watching Slow Horses along with all the fans, what do you like to watch, and what have you seen recently that's really impressed you?
Oh my God. I've watched a lot of the streamers, and like everyone else, I forget what I'm watching, and because there's so much on, and occasionally over an evening I'll turn to Kate and after dinner and someone will say, "Are we watching anything?" Because there's always something, but anyway, so there's a lot of fun things on. There are some extraordinary documentaries on. There was an amazing documentary. It's a kind of documentary. Louis Theroux, him. He went and he met with the Israeli settlers, and that was shown this week. A hugely informative piece of work. And there's I can't think of anything at the moment. Desperately, White Lotus. I love, especially the first series. I thought there was a very difficult act to follow. I like things that, I don't know, the life is so horrible at the moment for all of us that it's just wonderful to watch stuff. Like I was about to say garbage. It's not garbage, but it's just on another level. It's not garbage at all. Forget I said that. It's things like that I tend to focus on of an evening. You've spent the day bombarded with news. I've even stopped now. Every morning I'd wake up and I'd turn the BBC News on, and an hour later I'd be totally depressed. So instead, I turn on BBC Radio 3 and listen to music while I'm getting ready for the day. It puts me in the right mood. And then round about lunchtime, I'll listen to the BBC News on the radio. I've got the radio on nearly constantly during the day. So that's my life. And I will, as soon as I stop talking to you, I'll remember everything that I'm watching. But there's a lot of really good stuff out there.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to seeing more of David in Slow Horses, and I wish you good luck with your aspirations of playing God sometime soon.
Thank you. Yeah, people will tell me I'm playing God most of my life. So there you go. Okay, thanks. Take care. Nice talking to you. Thanks, Abe.